Hi, my name is Wayne Lair and I'm from TaylorMade Custom Products, and today we are going to be installing one of our newest retractable awnings. We have selected this house because of the application of so many doors and windows here. On this side of the house, the homeowner is unable to use this deck very often. We have here a 14-foot wide awning with a 10-foot projection, and the fabric is a Sombrella beige and green stripe. When selecting the awning that's going to work best for you, you need to take into consideration a couple of different things. One is the area that you want to put the awning on. If you're covering a door or windows, you need to select the width of the awning that you want to make sure you get the maximum coverage. Then you need to take a look at the area, how far out from the house you're going to come with the awning, because you don't want to come out further too far so that you don't get the maximum protection. If you come out beyond your deck, you are going to get a little more protection in some cases, but you're not going to really be able to utilize that deck the way you should be able to. For this application, we have selected a 14-foot wide awning, which will cover from the window to the furthest window over, and we're going to be coming out 10 feet for maximum protection. Every awning purchased from TaylorMade Custom Products will come with a complete fabric installed on the frame, so you don't have to do anything with that fabric once you get it. It's all on there, ready to go. With each awning, we provide a hood. That's an option. If you've got an installation that we have in this particular case, you will want to put that hood on. But if you have an installation underneath an overhang or a roof, you don't need that if you don't want to put it on. That's an option. With each awning, we get one crank, because they're a manual crank, and they're a standard 5-foot length. Each hood has a right and a left bracket to support the hood on each end. The 14 and 18-foot models come with 4 mounting brackets to go on the wall. With those mounting brackets come anchor shields if you're installing into a block or brick building. If you're not installing into that, we recommend that you use a 2-inch by 3/8 leg. Each one also comes with 2 brackets to support the center of the hood, so there's no sagging. If it's a 10-foot model, it only comes with 1. And also with the 10-foot model, the mounting brackets, there are 2 per awning. That's all you need. We have just measured our awning, which is 14.1 and 5/8 wide. We've measured the opening that we're trying to put that into, and it's 14.9 and 7/8. So we want to center the awning over this opening overall. So we're going to come in 4 1/8 on each side for our end bracket. We're going to measure in half the distance of the overall length. We're going to be putting that bracket at 4 1/8 inches to the outside of our bracket. We'll measure from this bracket to the other bracket and mark the far side. The recommended height for installing your awning is 8.5 feet or 8'6" to 9 feet. In this instance, we only have 8'1", but we're going to maximize that 8'1" by going all the way up to the upper windows with our awning frame. So now when we roll our awning out, we're going to probably have to take an adjustment on the front to bring the front up a little bit. All of our awnings are adjustable as far as when you roll them out, the height you want in the front. They all come pre-adjusted in the factory, but when you get installed, if you think it needs to be higher or lower, easily done on the job. We'll show that to you later. We're going to install our 2 end brackets first. The rule of thumb with an end bracket is it needs to be 6 inches in from the end of where your hood is going to be. And that's our mark that we made on the wall earlier. So we're going to go 6 inches from here over for our first bracket, which will be on that bottom bar, the 2x2 square bar, and the top of the bracket has to be 4.5 inches down from where the top of the hood would be. So this is where we're going to install our first bracket. We have our 2 end brackets on the wall. Now we need to put up our 2 center brackets. What I'm going to do first is I measure the overall length of the awning from bracket to bracket. In this case, we have 14 feet and a half inch. So I'm going to go to the center and mark the center of my mounting rail at 7 feet and 1/4 inch. I've already got it pre-marked right there. So now I'll work from the center to figure out the location of these two brackets on my wall. We've measured for the installation of our center brackets from our awning frame originally. Now we've come up on the house and we found the center of the awning we're going to install. And with the brackets on the original awning, we measured over 3.5 to center on the left and 5 1/4 on the right, so that both of our brackets will miss any of the hardware that's on the existing roller. Now we're ready to install our awning. I have found that when installing your awning, you really want to put your hood on first, because when the hood is on top of the awning, it's made so that there's very little space between the awning and the hood to keep birds and squirrels. And so we have found that it's easier for you to put the hood on first. You want to take your bracket. It's going to sit on your mounting bar just like this. You twist it around the back of your frame. It'll pop right on there. Just like that. To figure out the placement of your bracket, you want to take your existing hood and measure where the holes are on it right now, from the end over, and then you want to mark the back of your bar. That's where your bracket's going to go. You slip that on and take your nut and bolt, which comes with it, and slip it down through the hole, and just get these started. You don't need to tighten them up. Just push that right up there and tighten, and just get started. We've got our brackets centered on where we need to put them. We've got the bolts in the back. We're ready to lift the hood up on top of the bracket and put the two locking bolts on top. Lift that up on top there, center it on the hole. With each one, there's 2 threaded bolt on one end and an acorn nut for the opposite end. Slip the bolt down through the hole. Get in there a little bit. You'll need a filled screwdriver for this. We've got our center brackets already on our hood. Now let's install our end brackets. You'll see that there are holes already drilled, pre-drilled for you. All you do is set your hood up underneath the top bracket, and each little screw comes with a plastic washer. Screw that down good and tight. Everyone lines up, and there should be no pre-drilling. We have lifted up our awning and slid it into our brackets. Now you need to take your bolt leg, or your bolt actually, and slip it up through both of your holes. If everything is in line, it'll go through. Put the nut on top. Take 2 wrenches, tighten it down. Your awning is installed. The only thing you have left to do on the installation part would be to attach the hood to the wall. What you're going to do is make sure that your awning hood lines up with the original mark on the outside edge. And if you've marked the top, make sure the top lines up. Get the 2 lined up, and there's 2 holes in the back of the bracket. You want to mark those 2 holes. And then you're going to take a wood screw, in this case, and with a long extension, you put those 2 screws in. We're going to roll the awning out now and check for the final adjustments. Once you get the awning all the way rolled out, you take up the slack on your fabric by turning it back just a little bit. Now, in this situation, we had to install the awning up at 8'1". We couldn't get the 8'6" that we needed. So therefore, the front is a little bit low. We can fix that. We'll be able to raise this up so the consumer will have no problem walking underneath it. So what we're going to do now is on the awning itself, up against the wall, where the arm is, there's 2 adjustments. One is your fine adjustment. That's the small bolt in the front. You need to loosen that up first. Then you have your larger adjustment, 2 nuts on the side. The arm will swivel in the bracket itself for your adjustment. Loosen these up. After this is loosened up, then someone will raise the front of the awning up above where you think you want it. Tighten these down, snug this up to the bolt. Then you're going to stop and lower the front again and see if it's where you want it. If it's not, you need to loosen it again, loosen these again, and raise it up higher. Now that you've got all of the 3 adjustment nuts tightened down on your awning for the final time, and you've lowered the front, you take your level, stick it on the front, check it all out. If one side is off, one way or the other, in this case we're pretty darn close right there. You can go back to the awning with your wrench, depending on which side it is, and you'll turn this fine adjustment nut out. That will automatically lower that side. In conclusion, by installing a tailor-made custom products retractable awning, you can control the weather. The retractable awning by TaylorMade will cool off your deck or your patio by up to 20 degrees. It will guard your children, your pets, from the sun's harmful UV rays. Protect your carpets, your furniture, and your draperies on your home. Enjoy your outside dining without the glare and the blazing heat.